Back with the playbook, today talking about electronic distractions. And this is going to be really important. And I want to preface this with a story about me. So I grew up right when the electronic craze really started accelerating. And this means phones from the first part about it. So phones started coming out, and the first thing we had was like, the brick phones, and they moved into like flip phones. So at one point, again, when I was about in high school, there was this big craze about the Razr flip phone. And then it started accelerating into this new product called a smartphone. And one of the things that I learned with all the new electronics that were coming out during my era was that it took people away from human interaction. So you don't have to personally conversate with somebody. You could sit behind a camera like I'm doing now, or behind a TV screen and play your game and have a headset on and talk to people like that. So children like myself are missing out on that personal interaction with people because you could do it all electronically. And I'm seeing this today as a big problem because I could tell it affected me. Like, I was not able to build until recently the ability to have very good social conversations with people personally. Cell phone, no problem. Over a game, no problem. But when it came to that personal interaction, I struggled with that. And it's, in my opinion, all because of the electronic devices that we're able to hide behind these days. And it's only becoming a bigger distraction today, because I even see kids during training, for example, they're pulling out their smartphone when they go get a water break. And I'm like, what are you looking at? Well, I got a message. Okay, well, I got a snap, or I have a tweet or an Instagram message or whatever. And I'm like, you can put it away and do it after practice. So one of the things that I would do, again, if I had my own child going through this process, or if I were to redo this whole thing again for myself, I would make sure that there's no smartphone. I would limit the amount of electronics that they're able to use, first off, because again, I think electronics have a great value, but you also need to develop that personal side, the ability to have conversation with people, engage with other people, and actually be effective and productive in society first. And I'm seeing kids just sit on their smartphone for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, where the first thing they do when they wake up, Instagram, and they're scrolling on Instagram. And those type of things, again, take away from the productivity that a person and player can then have, because maybe it's out, you rewatch game film that you played in. And you can't do that when you're distracted by social media or all the electronics that are now available to you. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And personally, I think the less electronics that they can have in their youth, the longer term benefit that they will sustain and be able to accomplish. Because again, using me personally, man, I had a PlayStation, I had a TV, I had a smartphone, and I grew up in that generation. So I felt the impact of it. And it's not a good impact, it's actually a negative impact. So the more that you can delay that, dopamine and instant gratification, in my opinion, maybe right, maybe wrong, the better that they're going to be able to build those social interactive skills with other people. And that's my advice. Hope you take it.